Here's the official Odious plushie. This is the finished product, and look at, we got the official Unparalleled Universe tag. And here's something else that I'm really excited about. I know this is kind of goofy, but being somebody that like wants to be in this world of actually making toys, seeing something like this makes me really, really happy. It's like it's an official like tag with my logo on it and all my information, and it's like, you know, this is official with it. So it's really, really cool.
Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo, and happy holidays. I said a couple of weeks ago that this segment was going to be all about setting expectations for the rest of the episode. And because of the holidays, there's not a lot to talk about, but what there is to talk about, consider it a nice break. I'm going to take less of your time this week. You can get back to doing all the things that this time of year entails. But sticking with that theme, let's swing back around to last week's Fresh Monkey Fiction Naughty or Nice 2022 collection news. I went through all the new Santas and Nutcrackers and Krampuses, but there's a little update this week. First, the name F Around and Find Out Santa has been changed to Checking It Twice Santa. I guess the F was just a little too much for some customers, but that same vibe is still there. Basically, you don't want to F around and find out with Checking It Twice Santa. But then there's my second favorite of the whole crew, Father Frost. And no, it's not because of the Fwoosh blue, it's just a cool design. But the blue does help. I already locked this and Barbarian Santa into my pre-orders, so I didn't need any extra swaying here, but they went ahead and added a neato translucent dark blue icy head to the mix, and I'm even more confident in my life choices at this point. Hell, this makes me want to go back and get Jack the Frost Elf from the 2021 collection just to have a matching set. And speaking of the current collection, I did get my basic Santa in this week, and ooh, I knew it was going to be good, but getting it in hand, it's even better. Check out Big Bad Toy Store for the current offerings. And again, if any of next year's offerings put a little twinkle in your eye, it is running like a crowd fund. So throw down your money now, get it unlocked, and we'll all go from there. Because, oddly enough, the Barbarian and Father Frost are already unlocked, and the rest are coming up close. So, yay, more Santas next year. Link is in the description. Todd backed off a little bit with all the reveals this week, probably because it's the holidays. But there was still one DC Multiverse reveal. Ooh, but it's a doozy. I say that because the Mega Figure Darkside Wars Calabac is one of those double-duty toys. You like adding to your current Multiverse 1/11-ish scale display? Boom, here you go. You want a big burly bastard of a Calabac on your 1/12th shelf? This works too. The character has been portrayed at different sizes. And yeah, it's the new 52 design, but it has more than enough classic elements to do what I need it to do. Like most of the Mega figures, actually. And did they do away with Mega Fig? Because the last couple of solicitations, I noticed that they've just been calling them Mega Figures. You know, like how they were using Build a Figure at first, and then they changed that to Build a Blank, where the blank is the character that it's building. That's kind of obvious. It's not a big deal. It's just something I noticed. And here's Calabac. This week, NECA continued their 12 days of downloads where they take a whole toy line and all the releases within that toy line and smush them all into one graphic. Like King Features, consisting of Defenders of the Earth and various versions of Flash Gordon, or all the different ETs. They're also reminding us that they've done a metric shit ton of aliens. And look at all the dang Predators. As someone who doesn't collect those lines, it kind of caught me off guard when you put them all together. It's like, whoa, that's a lot of figures. But then some of these other pictures give us a glimpse into the future, like last week's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie checklist showing Kino all painted up with a scooter. This week there's more TMNT with both cartoons and comic books. And since I don't hardcore collect these lines, I don't get into the lesser known characters. I don't know exactly what's new and what hasn't been seen and what has been seen at a show or a background or a tease. But we can still look at the graphic. Like on the cartoon checklist, there's a lot on the last row in the first block. Baby Turtles, Big Mac, Bugman, Space Adventures Donatello, who will be bought because I can't pass on the best turtle. Space Adventure Usagi, and Napoleon Colossus. Then at the bottom of this same image is Chakahachi, Lotus, Mighty Hog and Rhino Man, Dirk Savage, Jersey Red, Grunt, Tall Thug, and Short Gangster. For the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic checklist, I think we knew about the Shredder clones, but here they are again, along with Battle Damage Shredder, Foot Enforcer, and Splinter to go along with the new Mirage Turtles. There's another look at Dreadmon and Jaguar from the Archie comics, and then Donatello and Splinter from The Last Ronin. I do remember one of the bots from San Diego. The other one seems to be a lot of reuse from the first, just in bright white, and a couple of new parts to differentiate it, because bots. Flipping to Universal Monsters, I believe this is full-on reveals for the Bride of Frankenstein and Nosferatu, both in color and black and white. Definitely some swappable heads for Nosferatu. The one is looking to the side, the other is just gazing dead ahead. Dead ahead, get it? Dead. And while the bride's dress does come off as kind of flat, it's just material hanging off the shoulders, there is an impressive amount of material here. Look how it flows out onto the floor. Also, the red hair is striking. Professor Burke was actually revealed back in October's 31 Nights of Fright, but this is our first look at the figure in full light. It's one of those figures that seems grayscale, like it should be in the black and white, but there is some color peeking out around the eyes, since this was a mask in the movie. And yes, it will include the beaver hat. That was in the teaser. Like McFarlane lately, it looks like NECA is going to have a lot of pre-orders on the horizon. All this year, the Hasbro Marvel team has been doing reveals on the 20th of the month, celebrating 20 years of Marvel Legends. I mean, they're doing a lot of reveals around those dates too, but the 20th is the one you can set your watch to, and this month was no different. Here is the Fantastic Four's Franklin Richards. And no, it is not the Franklin Richards that I personally recognize, but it is the current Franklin. And this matches up with the team of Fantastic Four we got 3 years ago, wasn't it? Somewhere around there? So it adds to a matching set. Plus, it's easy reuse of that new Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man body, all the way down to the holes on the inside of the bicep, unfortunately. Comes with some science top things. Why didn't anybody tell me that you could put the gun effects in the beakers and flasks? That's kind of neat. Then there's also Turg, the Moloid head in a glass jar. Notice no package shot though. That means there's some surprises. Could this be a part of the wave and they didn't want to reveal the Build-A-Figure yet? Or a multi-pack, maybe with Valeria and other accessories? Who knows? I guess we're waiting and we're seeing. Finally, before getting into this month's Medicom MAFEX offerings, let's kick back to The Dark Knight Falls Batman and Superman. Those are now available on MCT Tokyo. It was hard to tell if those were going to pop up there because they had been announced as only being available through MAFEX run overseas stores or MCT Tokyo. The same as Webman for the month before. But Webman never showed up, or I missed it. I just happened to check the listings this week, and there was Superman and Batman. Upside, they do ship to the States. Downside, shipping through DHL is about $71, or that's the quote they gave me when I punched in my information. I wasn't buying it, I was just doing that hard-hitting research that I'm known for. If you're still interested though, or just wanting to find out the shipping information for your area, link is in the description. With that out of the way, this month's MAFEX pre-orders, they're both Star Wars, they're both The Mandalorian, they're both some sweet, sweet bread and butter. Now, we already saw Mandalorian version 2 and Rearmored Boba Fett back at Medicom's show in, was it July? But getting the pre-order, that's half the battle. The other half of the battle is that long, dark, cold wait for these to actually release. I think I see you somewhere out there, Boba Fett. Where are you? Mando seems to be the same deal as the first release, just with the proper Season 2 changes, which really boils down to the right thigh pad and the left knee pad. So I'm thinking this is mostly the same figure. It's the accessories this go around that changes things up and sweetens the deal. Version 1 had a little statue of Grogu. This time around, Baby Yoda has articulation. Yeah, it's just the shoulders and the head, it looks like. But even SH Figure Arts, after doing their super articulated Grogu first, went, okay, we may have overdone it. So they backtracked, they dumbed it down to about right here. So it's Medicom and Bandai just meeting in the middle. Then instead of swapping parts, the Grogu carrying bag just has its own Grogu head sticking out of it. I'm guessing it's all just one sculpt. Or maybe you can swap between the two. Then there's the standard weapons, the rifle, the wrist effects for firing line and whistling birds, electric shock for the end of the gun. They changed up the flame blast this time. Version 1, it was a big effect piece, but it had to have its own stand. This time around, it's smaller, swaps out, plugs into the van brace, done. Then because it's Season 2, there's the Beskar Spear, Dark Saber, jetpack with blasts, alternate helmet with flashlight attachment, and swappable unmasked head. Hopefully the final product turns out like this because I think this is the best likeness we've gotten out of any of the companies. For Boba Fett, it's also Mandalorian Season 2 after he repainted his armor, so it's fairly clean, some silver chips here and there. The proportions look excellent. So accurate, which helps that they've waited, a year since this actually appeared on the show. But it hurts extra because I just built the Bandai model kit and declared that the best proportioned. So it looks like that's going to get bumped off the shelf about summer of 2024. Dang it. Rifle, blaster, firing line, flame shooting van brace attachment, jetpack with jet and firing rocket effects, and probably my favorite, the knee pad dart effect. Finally, there's a Boba Fett we can display with the hee-hee. Then, of course, there's an unmasked Boba Fett head, and not to cause controversy, I'm going to say this is the best likeness that we've seen from any of the companies. I know SH Figure Arts fans, shh. That one was pretty good, but on mine, there was kind of some weirdness. So speaking personally, just for me, this looks like the best likeness. Around $80, $85, both of them are scheduled for December of 2023. I can't even say that anymore with a straight face. We all know the deal, Medicom. Just say the future, and we'll be just as happy waiting or pre-ordering and forgetting about it, because that's what we do now, even when you give a release date. And that is all I have for this week. Go. Be merry. We'll swing back around next week. If you're wanting to see any of these pictures up close without me all Boba Fett, I'll be posting all of that along with links to pre-orders, more information on the Fwoosh front page Saturday at noon. But if you can't wait that long, links are in the description. And yes, I saw the international listings for the McFarlane Toys Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures. But I'm gonna wait until we have more information before diving into that, because there's so much to speculate. Some of the listings say movie, and 12-inch, and giant, which is outside the Playmates realm, or any of the other companies' realms. But then there's also basic figures, playsets, vehicles. Is that gonna be in the aisle, along with Playmates? Because while this license has been sliced thin for some years now, it only makes sense for Todd to get in on that action too. But each one has their slight differences. You can sell online, you can sell in this aisle, Playmates in the kids aisle, and everywhere else. Where does Todd fit into all this? Because if this is international listings, that seems like this should be mass market. Does it come down to price point, where Playmates is targeting sounds weird, but their audience is kids? And that's not saying adults can't buy Playmates toys. You know me better than that. But will that be like the 20 and below price point, and then Todd is the 20 and above price point? Kind of more deluxe, more collector grade? I don't know. Again, we're just waiting and seeing. So that's why I'm not going to talk about it. Even though I just kind of talked about it. But if I didn't, there would have been comments of, hey, why didn't you talk about McFarlane's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? And I'd be like, because we don't have any information other than names. You want to go hang out? Talk toys. But if you enjoyed this Fwoosh Weekly, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. Wherever you may be watching this. Why did I do that? I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. Oh, and since it is the holiday season, be careful out there if you are traveling, because, oh, yeah, it's all happy and merry, but at the same time, weather and other vehicles and just chaos. It can get chaotic. I'm not sure if I've ever paid attention before, but here in Arkansas, I don't remember the last time I saw 1 degree on the temperature. I checked my phone last night about midnight and thought, Then there was a light dusting of snow and the whole city shut down. Oh my God, it's the apocalypse. So yeah, be careful. Let's all come back around, talk toys next. And that makes it sound like you gotta be healthy to come back around and watch my next video. No, to hell with all that. Yeah, let's just all be around to talk toys in the future.